Hey everyone, happy Friday. Let me I think that's good. Let the people in Zoom. Get all disable the waiting room. There we go. Happy Friday, y'all.
Hello, Joe.
Oops. Oh. Good job.
Hi.
Yeah, gotta mute that other one up. There we go. How you doing, John?
Good, and you?
Doing good.
I have echo. Is it on me?
No, yeah, we hear it. Is your your other account? You want me to mute the other one?
Yeah.
There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was muted.
Yeah. So, by the way, I asked John to try to help a little. He's helped a lot in the webinars. Isaias had some stuff to take care of this morning, so he's not here now. He should actually. He's hoping to be back by the hero calls, but he's the stuff he's doing is unpredictable. So he's not sure when he'll be back, but he's hoping. So if everyone's doing well, I think I'm coming down with a cold. At least it feels like it. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I can feel it. It's weird. Like, I don't know if this is everybody, but for me, I drink coffee every morning, right? I drink about a pot. I always can tell I'm sick when I don't want coffee. Like, I don't crave coffee. It's weird. My body tells me, like, yeah, you need something a little better. Anyway, who's got something to work on? Welcome, everyone. We got Hubert, Ray.
I have a tiny little problem.
Right. Let's see it.
If can I share my screen?
Is that a trick question?
I
Yeah.
I don't see the there. Okay, more shares. Oh, try. Okay, more share screen. One. Where shall I put it? Okay, here. No. Okay, let me see. Okay, so I go period RM. Then I hit enter and it repeats.
Hold on. Am I missing it? I don't see.
We don't see
it. Oh, okay. I forgot to share. Okay,
there. It's loading now.
Okay, I go period. I go period RM. Hit enter. Oh. Okay. Period. Wait. Oh. Okay. Period RM space enter, and it does it again. Did you follow?
Yeah, I saw it. My first guess would be is you actually have either that hot string and more than one hot string, more than one scripts, or B. I mean, that's the first thing I would think of as.
Okay, so
See,
I'll close this one. I'll close this one, exit.
Or suspend.
Okay, now period RM space. Oh, okay, great. That
do it a few more times just to confirm, because it didn't happen every time.
what
There you typed.
Yeah, you
Something.
put double R.
Yeah.
You put double R.
Now I don't know what. It's very weird. I think you really got to go back and look at your script and just read through it, because so there's an RMM and a RM, right? So
Yeah.
why don't you disable one of those?
No, I need all of those.
Okay.
But I think they work.
Sorry?
The string you got was the one associated to the
I'll try
the
again.
shortcut you used.
Try that.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems okay.
But can you go back to the hot strings, right? So see the dot R, I think some of these are getting triggered because they're in, they're part of other ones.
But he's using the ending key, so it should work, because the string will be displayed only after you hit enter or space. So each of them should work separately.
Yeah, they work.
I think that maybe you had another hot string in your other script that you closed that was causing the issue that we had at the beginning.
But I exited that.
Yeah, but we are okay now.
No, we're still having problems.
What's the problem?
Well, they're still, I believe, am I correct, Ray?
Yep. Yeah, we are still having problems.
Okay, could
RMM enter. Well, that's not right at all. RM. Okay, that's all right.
this one is okay.
RMM. Okay, that's okay. RMM. RMM
Could we?
Should be this one.
Yeah. So it seems to do backspace. It seems that it does backspace. Because the cursor is at the beginning of Andy. Weird.
See, okay, that works fine there.
What's the other software you are using?
Oh, you know what?
Tell me.
I wonder if your IntelliSense is also trying, seeing it and getting triggered.
If my which?
IntelliSense, like, so you have other software that is also trying to assist you in your typing. So what was that other window you're in that you were typing in? The dark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Okay, let me.
What software is it?
Well, that is it's called logsec. Okay. Here. Okay. That works fine. Okay, so it meant, but logsec doesn't expand stuff. But okay, so it just happened in logsec.
So you know what? Also, so and we had a call with the client earlier this week, and he was a really fun guy. Tom, I can't remember his last name. Doesn't matter. He was having, and I forget, someone here. Was it you, Ray, that were having problems with the shift sometimes, the case not being sent properly with the hot string?
No.
No, okay. Someone in the calls were having problems on his computer. It happened every time, like at certain things we tried tweaking some settings and it was less prevalent, but sometimes it happened every time. And he had a bleeding cutting edge computer, and he had nothing else enabled. We finally, after doing a lot of work, what we did for him was we switched it to where it would send a paste of the text instead of using hot strings for pasting it, because, and Isaiah read a little bit more about it in the forum, apparently hot strings having problems with things like this, it has more to do with the tool you're typing in than AutoHotkey, right? And how it receives the keys that are getting sent. So what we did for Tom was just said, you know what, let's just set it where we made him a function and it would just paste the text. It'd back up his clipboard, paste the text, restore the clipboard, and then it was always reliable and works great. But it could be something with that of hot strings or just acting a little weird in certain programs.
Okay, let me yield and experiment with it and see if I can get a clue. Yeah, I'll yield to somebody else.
Okay.
And just there, stopping share. Okay.
Does anyone else have any other questions?
I had a question. A few weeks ago, you were showing me how to use the control send command. Isaiah said, demonstrated that. I have not been able to get either that or control click to work. And I don't know if it's just a syntax thing, but he had demonstrated it in Photoshop, which is a tool I use quite a bit. Couldn't get it to work there. And I tried it in Word, and it just nothing happens when I execute the script. So I'm wondering if we could take a look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you share your screen? Let's start jumping into it. The tricky part is just identifying the control you're sending the text to, right? That's the
right.
tricky part, right?
Right. So that's the script. There's a lot of commented on stuff, but it's basically, just a few lines. And I'll just bring up a Word document that I've been working on.
Can you zoom in on it some? Because it's a little...
What's that?
Can you zoom in?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Just hold down control and mouse scroll up.
Control plus or control.
I think that works too. Yeah.
Control. It's not doing it there.
Control on the wheel. The wheel.
Oh, control on the wheel. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
That works in almost any program.
Yeah. Okay. How's that?
Zoom in. Yeah, it's much better. Thank you.
Okay, and then I can just put up a Word document. So this is one. What I'm trying to do is, in the review pane, I'm trying to click on accept and then accept and move to next.
Yeah, it's not really going to work on that.
Okay.
For that, if you were to go this route of clicking buttons, you'd want to use either the ACC library or the UIA library. However, with Word, there's a COM interface. In the UIA approach that I just mentioned, the ACC is not as hard. The UIA can be very complex. It's programmatic, but you're imitating human. With COM, it's lightning fast. It's just like running a VBA script in Word. So you don't even have to, like, actually, we did a tool. We were working for, who in the world was that? Serge, a new Hero member. He wanted a list view that was editable, at any spot. The list views in AutoHotkey, the first cell is editable, but not all of them. And we were like, hey, that's not really a thing. Like, there's some old libraries out there and we could do this, but they're the ones we found were really old, and they said in it they're not reliable. And we're like, that, we don't really feel good about creating a tool and something that they're telling us not to use it, basically. And we said, what if we took Excel and hid the ribbon, hid the other things, and just had the cells, because it's perfect. It's an amazing interface, right? So with COM, in about 20 minutes, we were able to look at Excel and hide the ribbon, hide all the other stuff, and have just the cells there and have it look really sharp. And we were like, wow, this is amazing. And it's lightning fast. I was hoping to have made a video on it for everybody else because it was like, this is really cool. We've just been really busy, so we haven't had a chance. Anyway, so COM, when you're working with Word, and this is where we've talked about it before too, right? Depending on the program you're connecting to, and someone's writing me on the forum like, hey, they're actually comments kind of funny because he's like, hey, I'm trying to use controls to click and I can't do it. I'm like, that's because every program's different and there's no way to know what you can and can't use. And he's like, well, which one should I use? And I'm like, you didn't even tell me the program you're trying to connect to. Like, I have no idea. So the second you showed me Word, I'm like, oh, it has COM, right? That is by far the most reliable, absolute way to go. I was amazed when Isaias was showing you with, what's it called? Power, the Photoshop, sorry.
Right.
That it accepted the control, edits and stuff, because I really didn't think that was going to work. I was really surprised it worked. But yeah, anyway, with Word, I would use COM for almost doing anything. What was it in Word that you were trying to do? Can you explain?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to, basically, I'm reviewing a document and I want to be able to quickly click on the accept and move to next. And I set up a stream deck or a loop deck button for doing this stuff.
So let's have a little fun instead of solving it programmatically. Because here's the really cool thing with Word in specific. You can turn on the macro recording. You can go and do the action and then go back and look at what Word recorded, right? That code is usually very easy to adapt to AutoHotkey's COM syntax. Do you want to give that a try?
Yeah, and as soon as we say COM, my mind goes blank because I don't know that language yet.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a component object model from Microsoft. Think of it as like the backbone, and again, think of it just like VBA, really, right? Like, it's like, hey, I have a programmatic API. I can connect to this program and do anything and everything I want. I'm not sending keystrokes. I'm not imitating a human. I'm programmatically doing what I want to do.
Got it. Beautiful. That's great. Okay, so let's see if I really, and I actually know what the keystrokes are because I made a note of them because I got them.
But hold on. What we want to do first, which I don't see it. Do you have the developer tab? Like, I guess the developer tab's not even enabled. Is that
in Sci-T4?
No, in Word.
Oh, in Word. I usually have that. They probably did an update and turned it off.
Yeah, so it's under your options.
Yeah.
At the bottom, go to options, and then somewhere in there. But this is a really, really good thing for everyone to look at, of like baby stepping into COM, because Word, Excel both have this kind of functionality. PowerPoint used to, and they removed it. I have no idea why, and Outlook doesn't have it at all. But which are the most main ones? So
PowerPoint was something Microsoft bought. They didn't build it. It's never.
Yeah, but it used to have it.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it was lunacy. They removed it, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Well, we know Microsoft can be lunatics. So, where is?
Let me Google it real quick.
Display. Maybe it's in display. Yeah. Let's see. I don't see it there.
What was it called?
The developer tab.
Developer.
File tab, go to options, customize ribbon. Under customize the ribbon, under main tab, select developer checkbox. So I'll do on the file tab.
Yeah, I might customize ribbon.
Customize ribbon.
And then
they said there's a checkbox. There should be a checkbox somewhere to say.
Oh yeah, okay. On the right list, if you scroll down, you will see developer that is unchecked.
Oh, got it. Perfect. Yep, there it is. Thank you.
Wow, that is
well hidden. Well hidden.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Let's
Right.
make it obscure. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the
So-
developer tab. Yep.
So now we're gonna hit record in macro
Yep.
and just go ahead and hit OK. I never pay attention to this.
Yeah.
Now everything you do after this, we want to limit what you're going to do, right? So the macro isn't too much. So
Yeah.
now
So I'm gonna go to, I think it's Alt N is the review, it's Alt R is the review tab. And then,
But
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
need to, you could use the mouse. You don't need to do it
Right.
with the keyboard.
oh, I can use the mouse.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
great.
doesn't matter, right?
Okay, then I go to accept, and then I go to accept and move to next. And that's
Okay,
it.
and now,
Stop recording.
yeah, stop recording, which I'm looking for the
Where is that?
bottom in your status. No, I don't see it there. Is it there? Usually there's one in the status bar you can click, but
But you return to developer tab and you
Yeah.
there you can stop recording. Yeah.
Okay,
Now you hit Alt F11. It will take you to the macro editor.
good job.
I'm working more on VBA these days.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'll shut up and Jean can teach you the rest.
yeah.
But in
F11
fact,
is
I would
not
teach you how
open
to do what you want to do using Word and VBA only, not AutoHotkey. What is good in what Joe wants to show you is how you can
Yeah.
control Word or Excel or any other Office application from AutoHotkey. So,
Got
but
it.
for
Okay,
this
so
part,
here
we
is that
need to,
macro.
yeah, you need to take it on our screen. Okay, so we see it now. So the command is selection next revision true. That's,
Yeah,
you don't want accept all probably. You want the second line to be executed.
just this line here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from there, Joe will tell you how to do it
I was
from
just telling you
AutoHotkey.
Okay,
Oh, and I should have been, so copy that and bring it back into site.
okay, hang on. Okay, can you see it? I'm not sure if I can enlarge this
Just
or
copy
not.
the
real
text.
high.
I'm not sure why you're doing screenshots.
Oh, I just record them so I can remember what we did.
Okay, sure. Well, we have the video, but yeah,
Yeah,
fair enough.
okay. Anyway, it's just there now. Can you see it?
Well, we want to copy that,
Yeah,
just that one line,
okay.
and then bring it over to site
Bring it over to,
for AutoHotkey.
oh, okay. Where, here it is, okay. And I'm just gonna comment out. Well, yeah, Tom, I can delete this script if we want to. Just tell me what I should do in here.
Let me get you can paste it if you haven't done that already. I'm sorry, I'm looking over here. This isn't the ideal way, but this should work for now. Oh, that's create, sorry. I'm trying to find what we need to do is to first connect to Word. I think this would not have it. Yeah. So later after I'll find the right way to do this, but for now, I'll put it first in the Zoom chat, which I don't see anywhere. There we go. And then I'll put it in YouTube as well. Let me find there. So go ahead and copy that.
And where will that go?
In front of the line you just pasted. But you can set it like when we're taking this approach, we won't need anything else. Right. Well, you might want the if when active hotkey, right? Because directive.
Okay.
So line 13, and this is where I'm cheating a little. It wouldn't always work. We found a really interesting thing that it doesn't always connect to the right thing. But for now, this should probably work, right? So the WD is creating an object where we're connecting to the current running application of Word, right? And we're basically having like a pointer or a reference in the WD variable. So this is where you have to understand, okay, if I was in VBA, Hey, they don't have something like that. That's because in VBA, you're already connected to that instance of Word, right? In AutoHotkey, we're not connected to it. Therefore, we need to put the WD in front at the very beginning of line 14. We need to use that reference. So put WD in front of selection on line 14.
Okay.
So we're going to put WD, and it could be any word you want, right? WD dot.
Yeah.
Now that's connecting to Word with the selection and next revision. Now, and I just know this from experience. So I would go over to the right where the next revision, and it's going to be colon equals true instead of parens with true. But you can see how similar the text is, right? We're connecting to the same method inside of AutoHotkey. Actually, that's probably a property, right? Or I don't know. But so now let's see if you can save that and launch the script and then hit your hotkey. What I would also do, maybe you know it well enough. I always, when I first start playing with something, I put a message box in front of where I am just to make sure my hotkey is actually running and that it gets triggered, because we can waste a crap load of time of it not actually working, And what's really cool about this also is, like, again, Word doesn't have to be active or, even visible. It can be anywhere. It could even be hidden and it wouldn't matter.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. So save that, relaunch it, cross your fingers.
Yeah.
And then go back to
save and pray. Save and pray.
And then go back to the Word doc.
Yeah. And then just Control on Windows X. Nothing happens. Let's make sure I'm actually in Word.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's the thing, is the message box didn't even pop up.
Right.
So this is why I tell
Oh no, it did. It did. It popped up on my other screen.
Okay. All right.
Oh wait, an error message popped up. Let me redo that. Oh, okay. I actually hadn't loaded it because the box saying, "Do you want to load a newer version?" It popped up.
So maybe throw single instance force in there as well.
Okay, so now running popped up. And now I get this error message.
Member not found. Interesting. So maybe we need actually change selection to application. So selection, so this is one of the bummer parts of using a macro to record what you're doing. It kind of really feels more like there's a human there, and so this might work. And if not, I could try to go look up in the Office documentation under the object to see what we need to connect to. But go ahead and save it, reload it.
Yeah, it says running, so that's getting there, and I still get this.
Okay. So now it's just a matter. So the other thing we could do is go to the code that we were working with in sight. And what was that word there before? Selection. So actually just copy the next revision. And now let's do a quick, actually, never mind. I was gonna say, if you want to do it, you can go to Stack Overflow, put in MS Word, and then add that to it. And then we can see, because there'll be other examples where people didn't use a macro to do it. And that often is how I cheat and just find the right, way to do it.
So you said put in MS Word?
Sure, because you want to tie it. We don't want to have just next revision on its own, right? Because who knows what next revision is used in.
So where would I put MS Word?
Well, I'm saying copy that.
Search on Stack Overflow.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So go to Stack Overflow.
But we might actually have to use selection because it's.
And what is it I want to search for?
So MS Word, space, and then paste what you had.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
We're binding your query to MS Word in that sense, if that makes sense. Just to make sure that it's not.
So I want to just paste next revision.
Right.
Okay. Whoops. I'm just gonna type it. I am a human being. Couldn't find anything. Let me make sure I got that right. Next revision, I'm assuming it's not case sensitive.
No. But put a space in between the MS and Word.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure which way. It just depends on how they're doing.
No,
See, that's weird because I did a search on it and I found it. But and Ryan in the chat put so let's do this. So go back to site.
go back to, oh, sites, yep, okay. Let me get there, there it is.
And add a line. You can, I think by now we can comment out line 13, right? We know it is working.
Yes,
And again, you might want to go up above it and add the single instance force, and that'll just save you time. It's one of the things I see a lot of even really, really smart developers, and they don't go at it. And every time they go to run something, it keeps saying, "Are you sure you want to, do you want to replace this current one?"
so
like on
how
line
do I just type single instance force?
Like on line 5-ish, somewhere up in there. Yeah. Is that a directive, I think, or is it? I can't remember.
Whoops, gotta get my hand in the right place. Like that.
Well, put a pound sign at the beginning. There we go. That still doesn't. Did you spell it right? I can't. There you go. Comma force.
Oh, comma, okay.
Well, it doesn't. AutoHotkey is. That still doesn't. Is that right? Anyway, well, okay. Now go ahead and try to launch it. Okay, it didn't complain, right?
It did not complain. Usually I'll get something that says, it's already running. Do you want to run it again? But it didn't.
So I have that in almost every. See, I don't understand why this isn't the default. Why we have to add it, because 99.7% of my scripts I have this in it anyway. So
what does it do?
It says, hey, if there's already a running version of this script, just replace it, kill it, and when I'm launching,
okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a
doesn't stop and ask me.
Instance. Right. So now after line 14, because we still need to connect to the Word object.
Yep.
So add a return.
After 14 right here.
Right. Yeah. And then we still need to connect to it. So WD dot active document, all one word, very good, dot revisions dot count. Okay, now save that and relaunch it. We're just testing. I'm looking at the documentation on the object that Ryan gave us a link to. This should run.
Okay.
Do we need to do message box for that, or?
Oh, duh. Thank you, Sean. Yeah. So in front of it, in front of line 15, no. Sorry. In front of line 15, begin line 15. Well,
14 now?
Line 14. Yeah. With a message box. No. So, well, I can't see what you're doing, so it's hard for me to give advice. But at the beginning of line 14, just type MSG box space % space. So this is forcing it to be help me, John. An expression.
Yeah.
Right. So now save this and run it. And we should get a count of how many revisions there are. And if this doesn't work, then we got bigger problems.
Okay. It says 66.
Okay, good. Awesome. So now
Oh, Word is connected. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. We've proved Word's connected. We proved we actually are active. So now I would change on the next line, line 15, where it says application, try active document. I'm still not even reading through the document. This is how horrible I am. Azais and I, we were talking about the other day when we were playing with Excel. He's like, well, how would we get rid of this? And I just started typing crap, and sometimes it works. And he goes and reads, right? And I said, yeah, I like to just guess.
So sometimes it works, but you don't know why.
Yeah.
So after I clicked on the message box that said 66, this popped up.
But it's still written application, so it was not saved. Your
Good
script
catch.
was not saved.
Yeah. So save it and reload it. This is also why I add a hotkey to reload, and then I can just hit the hotkey and it reloads, right? It Control S save, reloads.
Okay, so we get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the next one with any luck.
Okay, and then we get this.
Still okay.
Okay.
All right. My bad. All right.
I would try application.selection instead of active document.
Here?
Yeah, application.selection. But we could try many other guesses after that.
No, I see. It's actually interesting. Let me paste in the Zoom chat what they're. Oh, I can copy. So here is. This is what I'm seeing on the documentation page. And I see.
Yeah, but it depends on how the document is structured. In this example, you have section 1, so if there's no section in maybe the first one is 1 anyway, but
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So did you test it with the application.selection?
Oh, let me make sure.
Just by curiosity.
I think I did, but I'll do it again.
So
I'm not running at the moment.
there's no section in maybe the first one is.
You know what? I'm wondering if this is, I do this, I'm not seeing. Oh, there it is. Now it's there in my taskbar. Okay, now let me try running it. Let's see, did anything pop up? Okay, where did it go? Somewhere that box popped up showing okay, but I'm not seeing where it is.
Yeah.
Saying 66. I'm not seeing where it is. Close. I don't need this open anymore, do I?
Right. That's right. Yeah, you can. Close
Okay, interesting. The message box shows up in my taskbar. I can see it if I pop into my taskbar, but I'm not seeing it actually become visible on either of my screens. Let me disappear everything that's out here and see if it's actually there. So there it is. Okay, it was behind a whole bunch of windows. So there's that. So that shows up. And then when I say okay, I get the error message.
The other thing that was interesting is when we first grabbed it from the macro recorder, there was a line in front of it, which I agreed with Jean at the time was like, yeah, I don't think we want to accept all, but maybe that was doing something.
Let's see, that was selection.range.revisions.accept all.
But I was just wondering why it was there, because you didn't click that, did you?
I didn't click anything that said that. I just clicked through the menu options to get to select, well, I clicked on accept and next. I wonder if what it's doing is not doing the accept part. which is perhaps not allowing, I mean, we could certainly put something in here. Because the line right in front of this, I assume I would need WD dot application dot selection dot range dot revisions dot accept all. That's what the command was selection dot range dot revisions dot accept all.
Sure, as long as you don't mind trying that, just don't save it. You know, if you wanted to have it, let's see if that does anything.
Yeah, so I'll save. I can always undo. I will run it. I'm going to kill it. I don't think it was running before, but I want to make sure that we actually ran it clean. There it is. Okay, now if I bring up my Word document and go here. Okay, here's the 66. So that's the revisions. Say okay, and I get the error message again.
Well, and that's online. But it did
You
the
know,
first.
Joe, I just tried the same thing on my Word, and it also inserted the first line, selection.range.revisions accept all. So even if I only click accept next,
Interesting.
so maybe this line is required. We try it.
Yeah, which is weird because it doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, it's not logic. But...
Yeah, I agree. But it's weird that still errored. So line 15 didn't error, but line 16 did.
Yeah.
You could so perhaps my adaptation of the true was incorrect. Try this. At the end of the next revision, change, so don't do colon equals true. Put a left paren where the colon is. Yeah, and then wrap true with quotes and then close the parens. It's possible this is a function inside there.
Okay, the script's not running. No, the script's running.
And you can get rid of that count if you want. Like we don't have to have that.
There's that. Oh, what did it do?
It didn't error?
I did not see the error message pop up.
Did it accept the next change?
Let's try it again. Let's see.
So
if I go here. No, it doesn't seem to be doing. Oh, I got to get rid of that message box because that's
right.
I think it did something.
Yeah, it highlighted themes on the left, so I think it highlighted the next revision.
Yeah. So let's see if I go here. Damn it! Oh, I got to Sorry, got to save it and rerun it. Okay. That's what doing it. Yeah, what it's doing the first time I hit it is it selects the next revision, and then it's working.
Excellent.
Wow. Well, I would not have figured that out on my own. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and like I said, what's awesome is that not that you would have it, but the you could be doing other stuff. It doesn't you know, there's no problem with the keyboard or anything like that because it's doing it programmatically.
Right, but the Win active will still be operational, right? So the hotkey is not going to trigger it unless it's active.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, which so people that don't understand line 8 is saying, hey, this Control Alt Windows X that he has on line 9, only use that if Word is active.
Right.
It's a great way to, you know, be able, actually, not that you would have a Control Alt Windows X in another program, because for me that's a complex hotkey, but it's awesome because you can reduce the risk of you doing something when you didn't really want to.
Yeah, I use those because they are complex, and I just stick them into a loop deck or a stream deck.
Oh, okay.
button. But the other thing that Isaiah and I think you, Joe, had mentioned was that you can use F13 through F24.
Right.
I have not been able to figure out how to actually fire an F13 through F24. I can set up a hotkey that works with them, but I don't know where I can, what keystroke command would actually cause that to fire.
Well, let's just pretend, because you can double it. So after line 8, go to the end of line 8, hit return. So you know you can stack hotkeys, right? So right here, you would put F14 colon, 2 colons, excuse me. Yeah. So now either F14 or your hotkey would trigger, right? What you would need to do is after you save this in your software for the, what's it called? Loop deck, whatever it is.
Yeah, loop deck or stream deck, yeah.
You need to figure out in their tool, how do you send the F14?
Oh, got it. Actually, you're right. And I did. I found it in there. What I haven't found, and I sent a note into both of those support places, I haven't found how to add a modifier key in front of F14. I found it last night. They do have a place, but I can't, there's no way that I can see to add a modifier key. And I'd like to be able to do, you know, what, Alt F14, Control F14, those things. But that's a question with Loop Deck or Stream Deck and their software, not this. I didn't know you could stack hotkeys.
Right. It's something a lot of people don't realize. And you can actually, you can stack them. And then what Isaiah likes to do is later use logic to say, well, which hotkey was actually triggered, and then do something a little differently. You know, sometimes you want them kind of trigger mostly the same thing to do the same thing, but to have slightly different results. And if you watched, you're a hero member, right, Tom? If I remember right. So the other day I put a video in the Telegram group for 4 alternatives for solving the same problem. And there you'll find that a really interesting video, because we talked a couple different ways to go about doing something. And we used context sensitive hotkeys or hot strings, excuse me. And then doing conditional stuff based on what was pressed.
You can do the same with labels when you go, you do go sub. So you could have 3 different labels, and depending on which one was called, you can have some ifs inside your command that would say, if this label is something, do something else, do something else. Yeah,
there's a boy, I can't remember if it's a directive or a command, but there's I think it's a command. This hotkey, or sorry, it's a variable, which will tell you what was pressed, you know, where you are, how you got where you are, what hotkey or whatever was pressed. John, I don't know if you know this, this hotkey, it actually works for hot strings as well. It'll show you the trigger.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it's so horribly named, this hotkey, and you're like, oh, it's only for hotkeys. No, it
should be this trigger.
Right.
This trigger would be more appropriate. Yeah.
So this is just, so I'm tracking then, this is basically setting up a variable WD that holds this COM object, word.application. And then down here, I'm saying, take that application. I'm saying with the word application, I'm saying WD is an application, and then I'm just sticking in the macro commands.
No, I'd rephrase that slightly. So you're on line 14, you're right. We're connecting to the word application, storing a reference to it in WD. The thing is, Word has, the model has different levels, right? Like in Excel, there's 3 levels I know of. There's the application, there's the worksheet, and workbook, right? Here, I don't know in Word how many different things there are, but sometimes it's you know, something else, right? So we're connecting to Word at the application level is how I would say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then saying, hey, get the selection, and this is where I'm not too sure the range and revisions is that all. That's where, you know, there's different methods and different things you can do. And this is where starting to, you know, Isaiah is right. You should look at the documentation. I often just Google on Stack Overflow. I search. I use the macro recorder to find the right method. And then if I can't figure it out, I do Stack Overflow just like we did, right? And go search for it and then see what they did, and then adapt it over. And usually it's pretty close. Sometimes it's a little like this one. To me, when I see something is true, I'm like, okay, I set that to equal 1 or to set it equal to true, and it'll work. This was slightly different.
Got it. Do you think this would work in Photoshop as well?
I don't think Photoshop has a COM object.
Oh, okay. So that's where the control send or control click should be the preferred method. Or the preferred.
Probably,
If it works.
because go ahead, John.
If it works, yeah. Because it worked for
But we had an
Isaiah.
example. We had an example last week where it was working.
That's
Yeah,
right.
but when I was trying it in Photoshop, just nothing happened. So I'll keep playing with that. Thank you. This was super helpful. I'll stop
So-
sharing here. Yeah.
Ray has a question, I think.
Let me finish up just real quick on this, and let me fix my thing because it's going off the screen. I'm trying to make this. So actually, I guess I didn't have to do that one. So this URL here over my head, various ways to automate programs. In that video, I covered, was it 17? It's been a long time since I made it. Different ways to programmatically connect and control programs, right? Now UIA, actually, I think I did discuss it in there, but now there's really good ways to do it. Anyway, there are so many different ways to connect to programs. It's really hard to know where to start, which is the best way. But in that video, this is why I'm bringing it up. I discussed which ones I would start with and why we prioritize some over the others. And that's why, hey, when COM's available, no question about it, COM is your approach. When when controls are available, they are highly reliable and you can do great stuff with them. It's just often that's not available. Anyway, we kind of talk about different approaches and which one you choose over the one. Okay, Ray, what was your question?
Just quickly, if you set F14 to be the hotkey, how do you press it on the keyboard?
Well, that was yeah. So he has let's just pretend. So here's oh boy, here's my keyboard, right?
Right.
He has another thing over here that, hey, he has another one that it's called a loop deck, and he can program those keys to send different things, right?
It's another USB device. Yeah.
Yeah. Or let's just say even with this, I could use this to say, hey, when I press this, send the F14 key.
But I don't have those.
Then you can't do it. Sorry. Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the internet that says that I've not found it to work. Shift F1 will send an F13. Shift F2 sends F14. It does not seem to do that to me.
I would bet, Tom, that I'm going to totally guess here. A lot of laptops, because laptops often don't have all the keys that most keyboards have, right? So
Right.
they build the blue function key or
Right.
whatever, and maybe what you're reading is stuff like that. Because I've never heard what you said, but I've definitely seen things where
I've seen it in half a dozen places on the web, and it works. But I have a function key on this keyboard. I'm just going to try.
Yeah, I have
If that worked, it would be function key F2, and yeah, that doesn't do anything in function.
So Ray, back to your question. So I got this guy. The thing is, so I bought this, right? And I was replacing some of these where I could actually put paper beneath them and print what I want on it, right? The thing is, actually, Tom, if you don't mind, do you recall what your device cost?
The loop deck is like $550. The stream deck is like, I think it's like $90 or something.
Yeah, even to me, the $90, I'm like, come on. Like,
I know,
this
yeah.
was, I think around 30.
Right.
And then I'm like, come on, like a keyboard is cheaper, but it's ludicrous to me. So that's why I've been looking at these things or the 3 or 4 button ones and saying, okay, can I get that for like $10? Design it, add software that I could program like this. I have it set up to, I could press a button and record Zoom. A different one shares my desktop, like just things that I do a lot that I'd love to have, like you're saying, Tom, like you have dedicated buttons that launch things or do things. It just really annoys me, the Elgato Stream Decks and other things. They're really expensive to me for what they're doing.
Yeah, the loop deck has a lot of capabilities that you don't get in just a keypad, but the stream deck is just a bunch of buttons.
Yeah. And actually, though, to their credit, they have built-in software with GUIs for programming the buttons to do stuff, right? We have AutoHotkey, and that's why for me, I'm like, I'm not paying that. I can write my own stuff.
Yeah.
So search for loop deck, string deck, and is there a generic name? Are these just
Stream Deck, I think,
supplementary keyboards?
Yeah, you'll find the Elgato Stream Deck when you look for that. I'm pretty sure the Elgato. So here's the other thing: Elgato Stream Deck has an app. You can use your phone or find an old phone and run it, and it's like $3 a month. And you can dedicate the buttons. They give you buttons on your phone, and you can just press those.
I know that. That's great.
Yeah,
that's
for
great.
$3 a month. There's actually free software. I forget. I tried it out, and it works fine. It's just not as. The Elgato did a good job of simplifying it and make it very easy. The other ones I tried, you could do, but they're a little more programmatic. They're a little harder to program, but they're free, right? And I'm like, I hate paying for services, things that are every month I got to pay $3, even if, if they had a flat fee of like, let's say $60 for lifetime, I'd probably do it. Yeah. But I don't think they do. Anyway, yeah.
So Joe, can you program a modifier key with an extended function key on that little keypad you have?
Yeah. Well, let me rephrase. Each of these, because I've bought several. I have other one. Let me show you just because they're here and we're almost out of time anyway. So I had that big one, and then I have a 4-key. I bought this one, and then I have a black one that's equivalent to the one I held up earlier, or this one I forget, but they're similar. Each one of them came with their own crappy software. And like actually, when I say that, what I should say is they came with this, where they're like, use the QR code, scan it, and then get your software, and then you download it, and then wow, like the English is really poor. It thankfully, because of what we do, we can follow it. But an average person, I'm like, ooh. But each software was different. And I know where my other one is. I was telling Isaiah, my wife and I play Xbox, and there are these hackers in this game. And so I pre-programmed the buttons to auto write out this stuff that basically saying they're violating the policies and whatever. So I can hit a button instead of trying to type. So it's in there. But each software has different functionality and what they can do. And these actually, you can change the colors behind them as well, which I'm like, I don't really care.
Right. But you believe you could put in Alt Control F14, for example.
I can, I can definitely, I can't pull it up right now in 2 minutes, but I can confirm that if you want.
Yeah, if there's one that you recommend, because if I can't get Stream Deck or Loop Deck to do that, I'll probably pick one of those up.
Right. Yeah, my problem is I didn't document which software came with which tool. However,
go back to your barcodes.
Yeah. However, there is a program that Isaiah and I are using that when I plug in like this keyboard and I press it, I can with it's an AutoHotkey program. I can see what key is pressed in that AutoHotkey program. So then I'm like, well, this is easy, right? Now I can just use this tool to remap it to whatever I want, right? And that's where we were like, see, the problem is this was still, I think these were like $12 to $13, something like that. And I'm like, hey, if I could get these at a low enough price and write my own software to say, like with Zoom, hey, this will start the record button, this will do whatever. I could sell this even on Amazon, right? It's just, you got to get that price low enough. And then I'm worried, well, what happens if something goes wrong and the software goes away? How do I show them how to restore it? Like, that's a little more complicated. Well, thank you, everyone. I think we're out of time. We got to jump into heroes, and I see I missed a lot of the chats. Sorry about that. I was getting caught up in everything else.
Oh, right. It's ELGATO.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the chat.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah.
I saw ABD, my I can't read it. MSOR? I don't know. Can we use AutoHotkey to connect to Access? Access has a COM object. I've actually played with it. It does have a COM object. So sorry about not seeing this earlier.
Hmm.
Um,
Do we know if OneNote does?
I've never tried that, but my guess would be it does.
I would expect it to.
So thanks everyone. We got to jump into the hero meeting, but thank you for being here.
Good.
Yeah. I think we're still going to have our call next week, but that's, Thursday is Thanksgiving here in the
yeah.
States, but I'm pretty sure we'll still be here on Friday. So